As saints, sometimes we got pride. There was this fight, Deontay Wilder. I want to go out on you. Boy, you in here getting mauled. In there getting mauled by this man. He got mad because his trainer threw in the towel for him. Do you want to breathe again? You going to let your pride stop you. You, the fighter, going to let your pride stop you. But see, the job of your cornerman sometimes is when they see you taking in the fault, they're supposed to come and restore you. And sometimes what we do is saints in the church is we see somebody falling out. What's wrong with that, brother? And all that. Don't nobody want to go to him and say nothing to him. Don't nobody want to get it right. I don't want you in my corner. Don't come over here talk to me about something that dude going through or that sister going through. You ain't even bother to go over there and at least try. You just gonna let them fall. You could prevent the fall. You could be an intercessor. Lord, listen, he ain't listened to me this first time, but please touch his heart, and the Lord might do something. But no, you want to sit there and talk about him. All right, well, hey, please don't come near me, because I promise you, it's happened to me. Somebody come say something to me, I'm like, oh, I can't tell that person nothing. Hey, and it served me well. So actually, yeah, please come talk to me about somebody. So I'll be like, hey, well, if I go through something at home, I can never talk to them. But that happened to me. And I'm open about what I've done and my mistakes in the church because I don't want nobody walking in here feeling like they can't pick their head up if they fall. Because I was one of those. Sat in the church for 6 years underneath Pastor Gray. Going as saved. Get into an argument with my wife, smoke and drink. The next day, my father-in-law came to my house. Now, he could have come and moved his daughter out because his daughter don't live like that. He got saved. He turned his life completely around. He could have came like, no, you come back home. But he wasn't concerned about his daughter. He's concerned about me. And when he came in there with humility, he could have came in there with boldness. He could have came in there and yelled, screamed, man, what you doing, man? I let you marry my daughter and all this. But he didn't come in there like that. He came in meek. And all he asked me and said, son, do you want help? And I said, yeah. And in that moment, he restored me. And I asked him a few questions. How am I going to go back into the church? He said, the same way you walked out. He didn't make holiness, he didn't make getting the Holy Ghost or getting saved unobtainable. In that moment, he restored me when he saw me take it in my fault. That's the type of corner man he is. And during that, like I was saying, people go and say some things, and that's why I'm glad I got good corner, man. It got back to me during that time that somebody said, well, he probably was cheating on his wife too. I said, what? A person get up and tell their testimony about what they done and you add to it. I'm not even so upset because I'm like, man, you know what? I tell my wife this all the time. If you do or say something, it ain't gonna go out void and it ain't coming back void. You're gonna get it so many different ways. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, at first I got a little upset and I was like, man, you know what? And these people in the church. I'm like, man, you know what? Lord, I pray that they could be a good corner man one day. And even before that, because I had many struggles in the church, and that's why I say it's good to have good counsel. When I was up and down, going back and forth, and didn't know which way to go, and people questioning whether or not you saved, because I got married a year into being at church. And the going rhetoric was I came in to get married. It wasn't on my mind, but it happened. That was God's plan, not mine. And so people were having discussions about whether or not I was saved. And when I would talk to Titus was like, well, if you ain't saved, you in a place to be saved. Because he could have said so many different things. He could have quoted so many different scriptures. But he came meek as well. Well, if you ain't saved, brother, you can get saved. And it ain't changed our relationship. And so I want to ask a question, and it's a rhetorical question because this is something you got to take home for yourself. And I sensed this while I was writing it. I sensed there is somebody And I put it in the atmosphere. I know everybody ain't here, but maybe hopefully the spirit and the question still lingers when they walk in. I'm praying that it does. Ask yourself if you got good cornermen, and ask yourself, are you a good cornerman? And to further illustrate, to be a good cornerman,